segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. That woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
At all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous.
In the entire woke Hollywood, with the precision of a surgeon and the flair of a roast master, Maher delivered a takedown so clean it left everyone's jaws on the floor. And the wild part? These two should be on the same team. Both are left-leaning, but Maher isn't playing by the woke rulebook anymore, and he made sure Hostin knew it.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah.
So what exactly did Maher say that sent the woke warriors in Hollywood into meltdown mode? And what does this clash mean for the left's civil war? Buckle up, because we're about to spill the tea. And trust me, because you don't want to miss this.
If I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently went to The View to promote his latest book, and what we all thought was a mere PR move quickly turned into a verbal flame-throwing contest. Man who leans left shocked everyone by taking a gaslighting his own side, and nobody saw it coming. It was barbecue night and the woke mob was on the grill. It all started when Sunny Hostin tried to back Maher into a corner, asking why he was weaponizing
woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
migrate. So why is that a bad thing?
Hostin thought she was playing chess. By subtly calling Maher a hypocrite, she tried to paint him as someone attacking a culture he supposedly belongs to. But Maher wasn't born yesterday. He saw through her setup like glass and had zero intention of falling for the woke mob's favorite trick, twisting words to trap their opponents.
Absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want. Okay. Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know. Want to call it the super far left?
Bill Maher's first move was to brilliantly sidestep Hostin's trap by insisting that words migrate and that one word today can mean a totally different thing tomorrow. So he didn't use the term woke in its original sense, but in the sense and meaning that the extreme leftist mob had given it. Hostin probably thought she'd watch Maher crumble under the hypocrisy charge, but instead, she walked straight into his setup. Maher turned the tables, forcing Hostin to taste the very trap she laid.
But don't tell me. Okay, that was a joke. But,
too dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you catch that? Here's Bill Maher, a card-bearing lefty, claiming that he got straightened up really quick when he saw the woke mob voicing out their support for the terrorist group Hamas. Yes, Hamas, the group infamous for believing Israel doesn't deserve to exist and should be wiped off the planet. Charming, right? But wait, it gets worse. Their ideology doesn't stop there. It has spawned repeated efforts to eliminate Jews, both in the sub-region and beyond. And yet, here we are, with self-proclaimed woke warriors pointing fingers at Israelis for the audacity of existing while cheering on Hamas's twisted mission. Maher, for all his liberalism, is as shocked by this insanity as the rest of us.
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
Maher nailed. Most of the women on The View, including Hostin, would choose to live in Israel rather than in Palestine. Israelis had values that mirrored American society. In fact, none of the members of the woke would want to live in Palestine due to their strict laws that curtail the freedom of women. Maher pulled no punches, exposing the woke crowd's double standards. They scream against Israel but wouldn't last 5 minutes living under Palestine's oppressive rules. The hypocrisy nauseating. Maher exposed the glaring gap between women's rights in Israel versus Palestine, and suddenly the woke mob became agitated.
I mean, women have no, I mean, this is a show in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
Yes. You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world where women are second-class citizens. At best.
Maher just delivered another deadly blow right there by highlighting the gender rights disparity in a majority of the Muslim countries, the countries that the woke warriors are so desperately fighting for. In effect, he was telling Hostin and her ilk to book a flight to those countries and see firsthand how women were being marginalized in every aspect of society. This was a subtle yet devastating uppercut that left Hostin and her panel scrambling. Desperate to recover, they played the classic innocent civilians card, hoping to corner Maher once more. But Bill Maher doesn't fold that easily. If they thought he'd stumble, they were in for another reality check.
Are you at all concerned about the children and women? And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin knew that Bill Maher had completely obliterated her earlier argument where she questioned why Maher, a true leftist, would not support woke culture. So she tried to frame Maher as a supporter of violence against innocent civilians. Her question, which was right on the back of Maher's brilliant submission, sought to question Maher's morality, which is a classic woke move. Once their argument falls flat in the face of scrutiny, they resort to questioning people's moral standards. But Maher was fully prepared. He released another salvo that shattered Hostin and woke culture's strategy into pieces. But Maher made a brilliant move there, which we'd like you to note.
Well, that's ridiculous. Defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be destroyed?
Hostin realized Maher had just torched her earlier argument about why a true leftist like him wouldn't back woke culture. So in a last-ditch attempt, she tried to paint him as a supporter of violence against innocent civilians. Classic woke move. When their arguments crumble under scrutiny, they pivot to moral grandstanding. But Maher saw it coming a mile away. He fired back with another devastating salvo, blowing Hostin's weak strategy and the woke playbool into tiny, irreparable pieces. And here's the kicker. Maher's counter wasn't just brilliant, it was a masterclass in handling these setups. Pay close attention.
All right, so Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means, okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community, and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli... Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
And there it was, a truth bomb dropped with Bill Maher's signature calm precision. Notice how everyone clapped except Hostin? Oh, she felt that heat and sat there like a soaked dog shivering on a freezing Friday night. Maher dismantled the woke mindset so thoroughly that even Hostin's panelists and the presumably left-leaning studio audience couldn't resist applauding his brilliance. Maher knows the woke playbook inside and out, and he exposes its absurdity with surgical finesse. But hold on, he wasn't done yet. He saved the best shot for last. When Whoopi asked if the media skews the news to push a narrative, Maher's answer was nothing short of masterful. Listen to this.
I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it. And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other half.
Once again, Bill Maher tore into the woke agenda, which he cleverly dubbed the narrative of truth. You know that for the ultra-lefties, truth was rarely their priority. Their real mission is shoving their narratives down everyone's throats, no questions asked. Truth is often sacrificed for convenience, and anyone who dares challenge them gets canceled and forgotten. That's why Maher refuses to join the woke bandwagon, because it's full of people with ulterior motives, bent on eroding the cultural and traditional fabric America was built on. Maher's courage sent shockwaves through the room, even earning him a few fans from the right. But did you catch Hostin's face during all this? She looked like she'd seen a ghost and couldn't wait to flee. Naturally, she wasn't about to let Maher have the last word, so she tried a desperate move, accusing him of abandoning his liberal woke views. But once again, Maher had the perfect response.
Wait, what are the other two? Go ahead.
Well,
what are the other two?
well, that's what that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest, because this is a word that's triggering. But I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.
Maher was basically saying that he was an old school liberal who believed in social justice that doesn't make people comfortable in their misery. He argued that his views were totally different from the woke mob who thought that people should be encouraged in their misery even though it is hurting them. To drive his point home, Maher gave a classic example. An old school liberal, he argued, would be all for getting homeless men off the street and into a safe, comfortable shelter. Meanwhile, the woke mob would prefer to keep them right there on the sidewalk, demanding that everyone else deal with the inconvenience, and anyone who dares to complain is canceled.
Homeless was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Now that's
Homeless.
hard.
Now, no.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's
now.
people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Now it's unhoused.
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals, we're compassionate. Let's get these people off the street. That's not the view of the, whatever word we're gonna come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life under a bridge.
Maher's bravery, wit, and sarcasm on the show was excellent. All who watched that episode had nothing but praise for the comedian for putting the woke mob in their place. One appearance on The View was less of a friendly chat and more of a masterclass in dismantling woke hypocrisy. From the moment Sunny Hostin tried to corner him, Maher handled her like a seasoned pro, calm, precise, and devastating. The woke mob didn't see it coming, and judging by their collective meltdown, they're still reeling from the fallout. Interestingly, Maher hasn't limited his sharp critiques to the woke mob. He takes on presidents who he believes are championing ultra-leftist groups and causes. During his time on The View, the comedian took a swipe at President Biden for his age and how it probably affects his role as president of the United States.
Was the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old. Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech. I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
Ouch, that should hurt anyone. Being labeled incompetent and unfit to run the most powerful country on earth is brutal enough, but being compared to a cadaver while you're still breathing, that's roast-level mastery. It also ties neatly into the ever-popular theory that Biden isn't exactly calling the shots in the White House, that he's just a puppet, while the real string pullers lurk behind the curtain. Maher's appearance on The View wasn't just a headache for the woke mob, it was a full-blown migraine. His razor-sharp rhetoric and devastating quips left Sunny Hostin looking like she wished the floor would open up and swallow her whole. By the time Maher dropped his final truth bomb, Hostin's arguments were dust, and the woke mob's fragile narrative lay in shambles. They never stood a chance. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you loved this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more epic takedowns of the woke mob. See you in